The movie begins with a girl named Emma who has just woken up. She is late for school. Emma is a very good and popular student, and because of this, many boys have a crush on her. On the other side, there's a boy named Dean. Dean is a very lazy guy who also studies in the same college as Emma. He loves playing video games. After getting out of bed, he goes to the bathroom and then comes back and starts playing games again. But every day, his dad scolds him for playing games. Some girls in college don't like Dean. Emma and her younger sister Stacy are being dropped off at school by their mom. As Stacy is about to get out of the car, Dean arrives in his car. Seeing him, Stacy says, "What a disgusting guy." Their mom tells her not to say such things and reminds them to focus on their studies before leaving. Meanwhile, at college, when Emma is talking to her sister, Steven comes and interrupts her. Steven is a quarterback player. Seeing this, Stacy teases Emma and says, "Introduce me to this guy someday." Both Emma and Stacy reach their class. Stacy goes in first and takes her seat, but Emma gets bumped into by Dean, who calls her princess sarcastically and walks off. In the classroom, their teacher, Mr. Christian, asks Emma why she's late. Emma apologizes for being late. The teacher announces that the bus for the dinner century trip will leave the next morning at 7 a.m. Dean is sitting behind them and Stacy makes a funny face seeing him. Mr. Christian then explains that during the last 3 days of the trip, they will learn about the island's culture, which excites the whole class. During lunch, when Emma is chatting with her friends, they talk about Steven from earlier that morning and say how much fun the upcoming trip will be. Stacy says that they'll be able to live freely on that trip, but Emma reminds her that they'll also have work to do there. Emma's eyes suddenly fall on Dean, who is cutting an apple with a knife. Seeing this, Lizzie gets irritated. That's when Emma's friend Helen speaks up, saying that Dean is actually a good guy. Dean and Helen study together, but Lizzie doesn't agree. Another friend, however, considers Dean a good student. Just then, their teacher, Miss Collier, comes over to Dean, takes the knife from his hand, and heads straight to the principal's office to report him. But Dean doesn't seem to care about any of it because Dean didn't follow school rules. Lizzie tells her friends that Emma shouldn't hang out with boys like him, especially since a famous player likes Emma. The next morning, Emma is getting ready. Her mom helps her with the preparations, and her dad tells her he can do anything to make her happy. Emma thanks her mom and dad. On the other hand, Dean's father, Jack, reminds him how hard he worked to get Dean included on the trip. He tells Dean that he coordinated with college staff for the trip. Although Dean doesn't want to go, after repeated requests from his father, he finally agrees to go. At the college, Mr. Christian tells everyone to board the bus. Emma's mom, Barbara, tells her to take care of herself. Dean's father also gives him the same advice. As everyone boards the bus, Steven greets Emma and then gets on the bus. After Steven left, Lizzie started teasing Emma, but Emma ignored her. A few hours later, all the students arrived at the trip location. Ms. Collier told everyone they could enjoy themselves for a few hours, but must return before dinner because the next part of the program would begin shortly after. Later, Emma and her friends went to the pool where they started swimming together. Steven was also there, goofing around with Emma. Suddenly, Emma noticed Dean standing alone, watching her. Just then, Steven grabbed Emma by the waist, and as soon as Dean saw this, he walked away. The next morning, the students began building a school for the local kids. While doing so, Dean started showing off by doing flips and tricks, which annoyed Steven. He complained to Emma, saying that Dean would ruin the trip. The teacher asked Dean to get down. That evening, Dewey told her friends that Steven had invited them to a party on a local boat. When Emma heard this, she quickly cut off a call with her parents, lying that Ms. Collier was calling her. She didn't want to go to the party, but her friends convinced her. After that, all the girls left for the party in a car. Later, Emma started looking for Helen at the party, but saw Steven kissing another girl. This made Emma upset, and she walked away. Dean, who was nearby, mocked her about her boyfriend. He asked if she and Steven really liked each other. Emma, frustrated, told Dean he shouldn't care about any of this. While the party was still going on, the police suddenly arrived and told everyone to get off the boat. At that moment, Emma accidentally fell into the water. No one saw her, except Dean. As soon as Dean saw Emma drowning, he jumped into the water to save her. They both swam toward a small boat and somehow climbed onto it. Dean then cut the rope that connected the small boat to the party boat because he was drunk and didn't want to get into more trouble. However, he reassured Emma that they would follow the party boat and return soon. Suddenly, a violent storm hit. They tried to chase the party boat but realized the small boat didn't have a motor. Just then, a massive wave crashed toward them. Dean told Emma to hold on tight to the boat, and both of them clung to it as they were hit by a powerful jolt. The next day at the hotel, the trip was canceled due to the events of the previous night's party. Lisa told Ms. Collier that Emma hadn't returned to the hotel and assumed she must be off having fun with someone else. Lizzie added that the last time she saw Emma was on the party boat. Everyone in the college became worried for Emma and Dean. Meanwhile, Emma and Dean were stuck in the middle of the ocean due to the waves. Dean checked his phone, but it was water damaged. He asked Emma to check hers, but she had no signal either. Back at the hotel, Mr. Christian was taking attendance and noticed that both Dean and Emma were missing. Dean and Emma were completely stranded in the middle of the ocean. Emma told Dean that they should have followed that party boat. Dean and Emma began arguing with each other. At a distance, they spotted an island, and Dean started steering the boat towards it. Meanwhile, the police were questioning Emma's friends. They asked the police if there was any way to rescue the two kids. The police responded that bringing them back would be difficult, which made everyone standing there anxious and worried. After a lot of effort, Dean and Emma finally reached the island. As soon as they got there, Emma tried to check her phone for network, but there was still no signal. Dean found a gun on the boat, a type that could be fired to send a signal, and he decided to keep it. On the other side, Jack found out that his son was missing. He immediately rushed to the college and met Emma's mom, Barbara. At that moment, Emma's dad also showed up. They were all panicked and started asking the principal about the two kids, but the principal wasn't able to give them any information, so the three of them left, still very worried. Back on the island, Emma and Dean began looking for a place to stay. Inside the forest, they found a beautiful blue waterfall. Dean was mesmerized and asked Emma to take a photo of him there, but Emma refused. She didn't want Dean to get into trouble, and if anything happened, he might not be able to attend his dream university. Dean found her reason strange. A few hours later, they came back to the shore but found no one there. Seeing this, they decided to head back into the forest. While walking, Dean found a cave and asked Emma for her phone to use as a light, but as soon as he looked inside, a swarm of bats flew out. They both ran to escape the bats, but ended up slipping into the nearby waterfall and getting soaked. Afterward, they returned to the shore and saw that their boat was gone. All they found was a life jacket. They became worried because they needed to get back home. They started looking for supplies to build a raft, but couldn't find anything useful. As sunset approached, Emma asked Dean to start a fire, but Dean was lost in the view of the setting sun. Emma asked him what was wrong, and Dean changed the subject. Suddenly, Emma remembered that she had some food left in her bag. She took it out and gave it to Dean. While eating, they started talking and sharing things about each other. Meanwhile, Emma's and Dean's parents were waiting at the airport for a flight so they could go search for their children. At night, Emma and Dean sat by the fire. Emma asked Dean why he called her princess. Dean told her that she was the best girl he'd ever met, the one he always wanted to talk to in school. They were sitting there when Emma suddenly heard a noise from behind the bushes. Dean told her not to be scared. There was nothing there. Emma once again checked her phone for a signal, but there still wasn't any network. Both of them began getting ready to sleep. Emma started feeling cold, so Dean took off his jacket and gave it to her. Emma reassured herself that their families would rescue them soon. Just then, Emma heard a strange noise again, but despite being scared, she somehow managed to fall asleep. In the morning, when Dean woke up, he saw Emma writing SOS on the sand. Dean asked her for the phone again, but Emma told him the battery had already died. Dean was feeling hot, so he went for a swim. Watching him, Emma found herself drawn to him even more. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Mr. Christian was informing Emma and Dean's parents that the police were actively searching for them and had found the boat they had gone missing in. Then Jack gave Mr. Christian some money to help speed up the search. Mr. Christian apologized to everyone, but Barbara said she also wanted to help find the kids. Back on the island, Emma was collecting water from a nearby stream when she heard the strange noise again. Frightened, she ran away from there. Dean, who had been watching her draw SOS in the sand, kept staring at her. They were both hungry, so they searched for food and found some fruit. After eating properly, they built a small shelter. Emma noticed Dean had fallen asleep inside it, so she went and lay next to him. Suddenly, Dean turned toward Emma in his sleep and put his hand around her waist. Emma actually liked it, so she didn't move away. The next day, while Emma was bathing at a waterfall, Dean asked her for sunscreen. Emma told him to look in the bag, but Dean said the sunscreen wasn't there. They got into an argument about how their stuff kept going missing. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Barbara was thinking about Emma while watching the news. Stacy was home alone, so Phil was getting ready to go back. Barbara was still very worried, but Phil comforted her with a hug and told her that they would find Emma soon. The next day, Jack and Barbara took a helicopter to search for Emma and Dean. Back on the island, Emma was trying to start a fire and telling Dean how much she missed her family. That's when Dean found a human skull nearby. Emma screamed in fear and started panicking, thinking they might die on the island just like that person. But Dean reassured her that if they stayed together, they would make it back home. Then he kissed her, and as night fell, they both got lost in each other's love. After a while, Emma suddenly starts crying, missing her home. In the morning, when Emma wakes up, she sees that Dean is not there. She calls out for him many times but doesn't find him. She gets very scared and goes into the forest to look for Dean. After a while, she finds him digging a hole to bury a human skull. Emma doesn't understand what Dean is doing there. She asks him what he's doing, but Dean snaps and says he doesn't need any help from her. This hurts Emma, and she tells him to at least explain what's going on. Suddenly, Emma falls and injures her knee. Dean immediately tends to her wound and assures her that everything will be fine. He then tells her that he lost his mother when he was very young and never got the chance to bury her. So by burying this skull, he hopes to find some peace. Emma is deeply moved by his story. After this, they both go to bathe in a nearby waterfall. A little while later, it starts raining. Dean begins enjoying the rain playfully, and Emma watches him happily. Soon, they both start dancing in the rain and end up kissing. About a month later, the news reports that the search for Emma and Dean has been called off. But Emma's friend still believes that they're alive somewhere on the island. Barbara, Emma's mom, feels the same. So she and Jack take a helicopter to search for Emma. They distribute flyers with Emma and Dean's information to help with the search. After doing everything they could, Jack tells Barbara that they've tried everything but still couldn't find them and that they should head back home. Hearing this, Barbara gets sad and leaves for home. Meanwhile, Dean tells Emma about the green light his mother once told him about. He says it appears at sunset, but he has never actually seen it himself. Weeks go by and they both enjoy the beautiful surroundings of the island. They dive into the sea, have fun, and grow very close to each other, spending beautiful moments together. One day, Emma tells Dean that he seems very different at school, and she admits she likes him. Hearing this, Dean also confesses that he likes Emma too, and used to secretly watch her at school. Later, while in the jungle, Emma falls asleep. Suddenly, she wakes up to the sound of a helicopter. She wakes Dean up too, and he starts looking for their flare gun, but he can't find it. Emma runs to him, but by the time they are ready, the helicopter has already gone far away. They both begin searching for the flare gun again, and start to suspect that someone else might be on the island, stealing their stuff. Many days pass, but no one comes to rescue them. While sitting inside the hut, they talk about the possibility of going deeper into the jungle to survive. Suddenly, they hear an animal sound. Dean goes into the jungle to find the animal, and Emma follows him. As Dean looks to his left, he sees a black panther. Terrified, he starts running, but his foot gets caught and he falls to the ground. Moments later, Emma reaches Dean and sees a knife in his hand and the dead black panther lying beside him. Many days have passed, and Emma and Dean have started to understand how to live on the island. They've learned how to survive here. They even know how to hunt now and sometimes build small huts. One day, Emma makes tally marks on a rock to count how many days they've been there. As time passes, the two grow closer and fall deeper in love. The next day, Emma falls ill. Dean asks her if she might be pregnant. To feel better, Emma lies down with Dean, and while they are talking, Emma's lost belongings suddenly start falling from above. When they look up, they see a monkey throwing her stuff down at them. Startled, Emma grabs a gun and fires into the air. Dean gets angry and scolds her for being reckless, because he wants to continue living peacefully on the island. They end up arguing, and Emma storms off. Later, while Dean is fishing, Emma returns and apologizes. Dean forgives her. Suddenly, a helicopter flies overhead and spots them on the shoreline. They are finally rescued and brought back home. At the airport, Emma and Dean's friends and families greet them with joy. But Dean isn't happy. One day, he visits Emma's house and tells her he doesn't feel right being back home. He tries to kiss her, but Emma pulls away and tells him to get ready for the party the next day. At the party, their parents express how happy they are to have their kids back. Stacy asks Dean why he's not with her instead of Emma. Dean replies, "Because I'm not like the rest of you." Stacy says Emma is famous, and no one even knows who Dean is. Dean signals Emma to come with him, but she ignores him. Hurt, Dean leaves the party. Things slowly go back to the way they were. Emma becomes even more famous, while Dean stays alone. Whenever they pass each other, they just share a quiet glance. A few days later, Emma calls Dean, but he doesn't answer. Stacy tells Emma that everyone likes her, but nobody likes Dean. Still, she knows Dean truly loves Emma. Emma and Stacy hug and then get ready to go to the party. The next morning, Dean visits his mother's grave. He tells her he saw the green light. That night, during the party, Dean is watching TV when his father Jack asks him if he wants his jacket. Meanwhile, Lizzie takes Emma to meet someone. Emma is surprised. It's no one else but Dean, standing in the rain, waiting for her. Emma can't hold herself back anymore. She runs out to him. They come close, embrace, and start dancing together in the rain. And with that, the movie ends. If you like this film, don't forget to share this video with your Femipian friends.